Hello, hello. Grateful to be here with you. Thank you for choosing to journey with us today for this transmission. And this particular energetic conversation and transmission is going to connect to and spiral from the idea of kind of what this year is about and how to kind of adjust your stance appropriately. But the first piece that wants to step forward is there's an empathic layer that I'm seeing very clearly that I've been looking at off and on for a time now. And it's this layer of empathic wounding, is what I'm going to call it. And this year, we started 2026 a few weeks ago. It's already going quickly. It's going to speed up even more. There's going to be more of an acceleration as this year progresses. And so, how we want to adjust our stance is through presence anchored in our light. And we did bring forward a couple transmissions ago that it's like an 8-minute process to help you hone that. As the pace picks up, those of you who are on an ascension journey, who have chosen to ascend, it's like this corridor is all about passing through the eye of the needle, is what we're going to call it. And so as you approach certain areas of the corridor, it's like a contraction and release through the birth canal. What's being brought up is coming up to be transformed, returned. And so the layer I was looking at this particular moment in time, the last few days, was this idea of empathic. What was empathic? Not even yours. So yes, some of your deeper wounds that have been hidden very deep in the energetic closet are now surfacing to process. And because you have the toolbox you have, sometimes all it takes is just breathe, feel it, witness it, allow it. Be willing to release all the meaning you've ever given what it symbolizes. Take the hand of your higher self, your guides, and be willing to forgive and release what it represents. Be willing to activate the appropriate vibrations of the spiritual lessons. Be willing to release attachments to the stories. And we have those energetic processes in plethora on this channel as well. But sometimes we bump up against something that we think is ours that's actually empathic, meaning it's not ours, it's someone else's. And maybe someone we danced with several incarnations ago. And so we've been empathically feeling it as though it was ours for 6 or 7 lifetimes. And we don't have to know consciously. But we're going to bring in an energetic process to help you and your body to be able to let go, release, return the empathic challenge, i.e., wounding, that isn't really your trauma to process. It's someone else's. And whether you were a healer in a previous incarnation and you took it on to try to process it for another, or you danced with someone in a discordant way and there were fragments given and taken, and with that can be a trauma dump, meaning if we cross a boundary with another or they cross a boundary with us, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, they can actually release into our energetic fields their trauma for us to process for them. And usually it can happen both ways. It can happen if we were the victimizer, but also if we were the victim. There are lots of reasons for that. One of the main reasons is so that we don't go into a story of blame or guilt or shame or who did what to whom, is imagine that in one incarnation, I attack someone and kill them for whatever reason, and I take a fragment of theirs. And then in the next incarnation, they show up and they do it to me, trying to balance the karma. Eye for an eye. And then in the next incarnation, I do it to them. And then they do it to me. And then I do it to them. Then they do it to me. And it keeps kind of getting passed back and forth. It's really this trauma that we're doing to each other. So which came first, the chicken or the egg? Who attacked whom first? It doesn't really matter, because from the higher perspective, we all contracted for the dance. That's not to invalidate the real emotions that get triggered and created in the experience of the trauma, in the experience of the crossed boundaries, in the experience of the attack or the defense. So the idea is, as we graduate into the multidimensional beings that we be, is we're able to hold both perspectives. Yes, this happened on the level of form, and it was messy, and it was probably ugly, and it was very uncomfortable and traumatizing for both parties, most likely. Again, not to invalidate and not to talk about the behavior being right or wrong. We're not addressing it at that level, but we recognize that at that level, that's where the messy happens, where there are all kinds of trauma, judgments, conclusions, beliefs established, held in the fields that we then carry with us into this next incarnation, including fragments that were exchanged. And then those fragments become a magnetic draw for that same trauma to occur again. So then there might be running in the fields this fear of being attacked, or this fear of a particular type of boundary being crossed. And we may have experienced it in this incarnation, but what we would encourage is for you to recognize that that wasn't your first dance with those energies. It was an echo, a reverberation of at some point where it first was established in the fields. And then it maybe happened again, again. And you played roles in various aspects of it, both sides of the coin: victim, victimizer, perpetrator, victim, oppressor, oppressee, controller, controllee. And so take a moment without needing to understand with the mind. Ultimately, the only way we can fully heal something is to release all our attachment off of it. And if we're trying to understand it intellectually, we're attached to it somehow. We're trying to fix, we're trying to change, we're trying to explain, we're trying to justify. And that keeps us tangled in it. So we're going to bring an energetic process to help you with the different layers, but primarily the empathic. But we'll start with that because you've all been doing massive amounts of work on yourselves, and you've probably healed most of your pieces, many, many, many of them, like thousands, millions of them. And you might still have a few deeper pieces, traumas that are difficult for you to see, that have been repressed for a while. And all kinds of defense mechanisms built around not seeing it, not feeling it. And that's part of the process of peeling the onion, is being willing to feel all those layers. Not that you have to re-traumatize yourself in the process, but it's about being willing. As soon as you move out of resistance to feeling it, some could call that acceptance, but that word can take us down a whole nother dance of definitions. It's really just allowing, being in allowing of it, being in not non-judgment, being in the willingness for it to exist, not resisting it. Then it can move, then it can shift, then it can transform, then it can be utilized as energy, as fuel to create the vibrational transformation that you're really after. And so here's the energetic process that we're going to bring in. We invite you to take a deep breath in, orienting into your column of light as the being of light that you actually are. retrieving all your reference points for your identity off of everyone, everything in the outer expressions of you, in the roles you play, in the personality, in the preferences, in the beliefs, in the thoughts, in the feelings. None of that's you. It's what you're aware of. You are the light that is aware of all of it. You are the presence, the container for it to exist. Retrieve all your reference points off of the reflection of your essence back to your actual essence. And as you orient into the truth of you, you can invite your higher self to activate and amplify an even greater, stronger current of truth as a vibration within your column of light. Body, team, same. And as you get in that vertical stance, your empathic sensitivity goes down. It's not as high. And we're just helping you by sharing information, modeling, orient deeper into your light, your truth, the truth of you as a being. And recognize that all the dances you've done in all incarnations aren't really what define you. They help you hone certain qualities within your light to expand, to grow, to shift, to evolve yourself. But you are not defined by any role you ever played, whether it was perpetrator or victim, whether it was husband or wife or sister or brother or saint or sinner. None of that is actually you. Think of it as roles you played on a stage, very similar to being in a theatrical production. And we're not trying to belittle your experiences. We're just helping you create some distance from what perhaps you have in the past identified as that isn't really you. And as you orient more to your light, we invite you at the level of your higher self, body, Davis higher self, and teams, to activate and amplify the resonance, unique snowflake blueprint resonance of your essence more. Like a tuning fork, attuning yourself to your own song, your own essence more. Unique and authentic to you. Body, team, same. Everybody has their own unique resonance. And when you're in your own unique resonance, far beyond thoughts and beliefs and experiences and images, as a frequency, vibrating as you, it's easier to discern what's yours and what's not. And we invite your higher self, body's higher self, to reflect that essence of you, that vibration of you, onto all your grids, all areas of your life. And then balance and stabilize, update all grids, all reference points, all ways in which you perceive and are perceived. Then we invite you at the level of your higher self to scan your fields with the guides, body, Deva, same, team, same, for any empathic wounding trauma that's not yours. And recognize that you've done massive amounts of work on yourself, healing your own wounds. And as soon as you heal a wound, you now have massive amounts of energetic information for everyone else who has a similar type of wound or wounding or trauma. So as you scan your fields for all the empathic trauma that isn't yours, we invite you at the level of your higher self, body, Davis higher self, and teams to also scan for all the energetic information you have for everyone regarding the wounding you've actually healed for you. And sending massive amounts of energetic information to everyone you're feeling the empathic wounding of that isn't your wounding. Return all the empathic sensations back to them. Send the appropriate energetic information. Some of those individuals may have actually corded into you or your body, Deva, where they placed a bit of a reference point for how do I access my healing. The reason they would cord into you, if you've healed a wound, that they have a similar wound that they're working on, that they're cultivating courage or strength to be ready to heal, they're going to put a reference point on you because you have energetic information for them that will help them. So if you send the energetic information to them now, then you can invite your higher self, body's higher self, to dissolve any cords or hooks that they may have placed on or around your energetic fields. Keep returning all the empathic. It's like I'm being shown even attitudes, beliefs, emotions, frustrations that aren't yours. Send information, return responsibility back to them that they may have given you to help them. And then you can invite them from the future as ascended masters, their body, Deva, nature spirits from the future in fully enlightened state, team same, to come back in time and to walk with them in their healing journey, on their healing journey, to be what you pass the torch to. It's like, I'm not going to be source for you, but you can be source for you, meaning the aspects of you from the future that have healed it, put your reference point there on them. Let them be the source of guiding you, supporting you on your journey. I'll share all the energetic information I have, but I'm not going to hold responsibility for your healing because that would disempower you. There we go. Good. Balance and stabilize. Update all grids, all reference points, all ways in which you perceive and are perceived. And then take just a moment, scan your fields, and see if you feel a little bit different. Yeah. Good. And then as you are on your journey of your own healing and something comes up, again, feel it, allow it, be willing to release all the meaning you've ever given it. This is an intense time for basically anything that you can't take with you through the eye of the needle, is what we're going to call it. It's like a stargate, gateway into a higher octave of you, higher octave of living and being. It's going to come up to transform, dissolve, release, return. And so the stance for this year that would support the best and highest is anchored in your light, being present in the now with all your commitment nuggets, your commitment. It's like you're committed to your light, you're committed to your journey, you're committed to your own liberation, your own ascension, no one else, just you, because you can't choose for anyone else. So we're going to model that to you, and we're going to share information. And you can invite yourselves from the future in fully enlightened states to come back in time and to help support you through this corridor, to guide you, to share information, to model the appropriate energetic stance. And depending, every one of us is going to have our own navigation. I will say that timelines are constantly upgrading, which is good. And the more you do your own work to be present with what arises, and to allow for the vibrational transformation that wishes to occur, that's how you're of service. You're modeling to all life what's appropriate at this time. And so, depending on your journey, depending on your path, again, we're all different. It's really from 2026 to 2028 that we're in this particular corridor. But again, timelines are always upgrading. One of the tools to pull out of your energetic tool bag is stay out of conclusion. So anything is possible. And we are actually going to be doing a series that we're launching February 1st to support the honing of the energetic stance, the ways of being for the new energetic terrain that we're moving into. And so again, depending on choice, depending on what we're focused upon, how we're navigating, what we've decided is possible, we could have, some of humanity is going to have 3 years of a lot of turbulence. And there's the option for those who have been doing the work, who have been healing the wounds, the traumas, lightening the load, to begin living and being in the new terrain now. It requires authenticity to link into it. It requires presence, allowing, being out of conclusion, not attached, not wanting for others. So in the sovereignty, in the vertical stance, and the willingness to be in the fluidity of possibility 24/7. And that's what we're going to bring in for that series, is how do we do that? And most of the time, it's like the way that we teach, me and the Council of Light, is it's not about efforting as much as it is about rewiring the back end, rewiring the grids, so that you can more easily be informed from an appropriate pulse. It's easier to maintain and sustain something when the grids are wired for it. You're not swimming against the current, you're going with the current. And most of humanity is going to be spending the next 10 years reweaving their grids in a very discordant and unconscious way. Whereas you could actually do it with us in that series consciously, and then you're ready. It's like you have your gear, you have your new setup, you have your new upgrade for living and being an empowered possibility, which is how you create in the new terrain. And the old ways of being and creating, manifesting, are actually not going to work in the new terrain. Anything linked with control is not going to work. Wanting for something in the external to be different is not going to work in the new terrain. It'll work in 3D, but I venture to guess that if you are here listening to this, that's not where you'd like to reside. So the living and being an empowered possibility is, how do we create as one with source in the fluidity of the new terrain, as if by magic? And again, we've already alluded to, it requires the authenticity of you being authentically you, and not any type of pretending to be something you're not, or trying to meet expectations of others. And that's part of what we'll address in that series, as well as being in the flow, the fluidity of non-attachment, not concluding, not wanting externally, that will link you back into the 3D terrain. And because the energy of 3D is dissolving, we'll say, it's in the process of retiring, those ways of manifesting that used to work are going to be very discordant. Like they'll kind of work, but they won't really work. And for many of you, because you're highly evolved, you've increased your light quotient to a certain degree that if you attempt to want something in the external to be different, or to try to get it, to manifest it, to control something in order to manipulate and manifest it, you'll actually push it away or blow it up. The new terrain is very different. It's much more delicate. It's less dense. It's less dense. So we hope you'll journey with us for that series starting February 1st. We'll put a link below. And we're also doing, this is a big one. If it feels appropriate for you to have a really, really strong start in the new terrain, we also would recommend journeying with us for the 6-month vibrational reinvention, which will be a parlay off of, in some ways, what we're doing in the 4-week series. But you're with us for 6 months, and we're really going to hone and support you in honing, really, your authentic, aligned, divinely unique self. And it's more, you're already that, yes. But how do you function as that, create as that, be that, express that, and create the magnetic draw for everything that's meant for you to be, to do, and to have, and to experience? And there will be greater refinement in the grids during the 6-month vibrational reinvention, because this year is an acceleration, and everything is going to be shifting and changing and shifting and changing and shifting and changing and shifting and changing. It's a big renovation energy, reinvention energy. And so we're going to use that 6 months to ride all those waves into the optimal together. And it's the idea of the caterpillar to the butterfly. Okay, you're the butterfly, and now let's make sure your grids, your back end, your perception of self is all aligned with the truth of you and your own divine uniqueness, resonance, amplified, authenticity all the way. And what's going to happen in that process is you'll start to get more clear around what it is you actually desire to play in and to begin creating for yourselves. And we're going to meet every other week, basically, with the exception of one of the months. Twice a month we'll meet. And then we also include dream time work with that. And we'll put a link below so you can learn more about that 6-month vibrational reinvention. It's called A Higher Octave of You. And oftentimes what happens as we evolve is we don't fully stabilize what we've moved into, and we don't update our back end to meet us with who we've become. So we keep getting the echo of who we've been. And it can be really challenging to create the new from that place. And so the idea of the 6-month vibrational reinvention is that it helps you upgrade everything to be current and authentic to you as a being. It also allows for personal interaction with us in those live physical realm sessions. And then we also do massive amounts of work in the higher realms, including the dream time work, but even beyond that. So you can feel into if that's lighting up for you. You will know. And we encourage you to follow that resonance and to begin. It's one of the pieces, one of the nuggets. Spoiler alert, that's how you navigate in the new terrain. You follow what resonates and go around the intellect, because the intellect is going to try to create what has been over and over and over, not what will be, what you are being invited into, what you're being invited to birth for yourselves. And that is what this year is all about. Fire horse, let's go. We invite a balancing and stabilizing of all your energetic fields, updating all grids, all reference points, all ways in which you perceive and are perceived. And feel free to share your feedback with us in any topics, questions you'd like for us to answer in these types of energetic conversations. And we look forward to connecting with you all again very, very soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your willingness to evolve consciously. And thank you for showing up. Much love.